What is going on, Arizona sports fan family? What is happening today on this wonderful Friday evening or Friday night, whatever you want to call it, ladies and gentlemen? Appreciate you guys for tuning in. We're opening up that's right, we're opening up another segment here of the Arizona Cardinals. We got a fun-filled show here today. We're talking everything Arizona Cardinals. We're talking about Cardinals versus Seahawks. We're talking about the future of Kliff Kingsbury. We're talking about a whole bunch of different stuff. So definitely come one, come all. If you're an Arizona Cardinal fan or if you just like this type of content, come on through. If you haven't already, smack the like button. It helps out the algorithm grow tremendously. So definitely go ahead and smack up that algorithm, that like button for the algorithm. Let's get it going. And if you haven't already, follow me on all my social platforms. Everything and all the handles here are below on this overlay. If you want a simple, quick link to go into the description of this video. You will find a link for my Twitter. You will find a link for my Instagram as well. So definitely go ahead and follow me on all my social platforms. But let's get started, ladies and gentlemen. Let's talk about the Arizona Cardinals. Now, first things first, I want to go over the injury report, right? Because like I mentioned a little earlier in a few episodes, before, I mentioned that the injury report really only matters around Friday, right? Because we have injury reports on Wednesdays and Thursdays, but a lot of times you're going to find yourself in a situation where like it doesn't really matter because things change so much. So the injury report for the Arizona Cardinals heading into week 9 versus the Seattle Seahawks is a little concerning. So these are the players that we have already listed as out, right? So we're not going to see them. We know that for a fact. Max Garcia won't be playing. I mean, I'm not losing sleep over that, whatever. Rodney Hudson isn't playing. And honestly, what it sounds like every time Kliff Kingsbury talks about Rodney Hudson, it doesn't sound like very good news. Like, right? Rodney Hudson has been a complete disappointment, and I've talked about it for weeks before. Like, he's just been an overall disappointment. I think he wants to retire. I think he's here just to collect a check, and it sucks because we still got to pay him, right? His number is still hitting the cap. So it's just one of those mismanaged situations where we still have to pay Rodney Hudson, but he's still there. So he is already listed as out. Another player is Christian Matthew is already listed as out as well. Now, we don't really care too much about him as well, right? A late round cornerback that we ended up getting in this year's draft. I mean, it's not a big deal. There's some people that are going to be sitting at questionable or day to day. Those players are going to be Budda Baker, DJ Humphries, James Conner, Dennis Gardeck. Those are the big names out there. Now, I've heard that Dennis Gardeck seems to be more of a no than it is yes, more than anything, but there is some positivity going around with James Conner with a hopeful start. So hopefully it's been a while since we've seen James Conner. So I hope he can go ahead and get going because he's a big part of this Arizona Cardinal offense. Now, those other two players that I ended up mentioning, DJ Humphries and Budda Baker. Oh my goodness. I do not want to live in a world that we do not have Budda Baker out on our defense. I don't want to live in that world. I really don't. Now, Budda Baker did miss Wednesday and Thursday's practice, but he was available today. Now, I think it was more of in a limited fashion more than anything, but hopefully, right? Hopefully it's a trend in the right direction for Budda Baker because, man, right now he's listed as having an ankle injury, so I don't know where it stands, right? DJ Humphrey was also gone for Wednesdays and Thursday practice, but he was here on Friday in a limited fashion as well, and he's listed as a back injury. So and I'm sorry about doing the quotations. I'm just used to doing the quotations, but I'm pretty sure that's what their injury is. It's crazy, right? We're looking at the players that are day to day, and for the most part, we're dealing with a situation where this is going to be pretty big, right? For the Arizona Cardinals, we need all guns a-blazing. We need all guns a-blazing here for our Arizona Cardinals because, man, we can't find ourselves sitting at 0-3 in the division. It just can't happen. It can't happen. Like the days of mediocrity should be over, right? And I'm so glad that we're building up this fan base. I'm glad that we're building up this channel because we have one voice to kind of attack. It's been long overdue. It's been long overdue for, these millionaires to hold themselves to be accountable because Steve Keim has had this job for 10 years. Never won a Super Bowl. Never been to a Super Bowl. We were close in 2015, but never won it. Kliff Kingsbury, on the other hand, which we're going to talk a little bit more about him and his future a little later on in the stream, 4 years, right? 4 years in this Arizona Cardinal offense, and I told it. I'm not one to pat myself on the back very much, but I knew it, that this was going to happen sooner or later. The honeymoon phase is going to be over. And this is what we're dealing with right now. I'm not going to blame this on injuries. I'm not going to blame this on anything other than Kliff Kingsbury is not the guru that the Arizona Cardinals brought in to save this offense. We're absolutely regressing more than anything. So those are the injury updates. I want to talk about this next. Now, FYI, ladies and gentlemen, if this is your first time here, if you're on Twitter, Facebook, or YouTube, thank you so very much for being here. If you haven't already smacked the like button, definitely smack it up. Let's talk about Kyler versus Geno Smith. Now, last game that we ended up playing, Geno Smith didn't have the best game, right? Obviously, he got the W, so definitely kudos to Geno Smith there. But Kyler Murray didn't have his best game either. But the big difference that we're going to have coming into week 9, as opposed to the first time that we met, is the fact that DeAndre Hopkins is here. DeAndre Hopkins is our offense. I hate to admit it. I hate the fact that one player holds so much weight on this offense. I don't like it. And the biggest reason why I don't like it is because God forbid something happens to DeAndre Hopkins, a suspension, an injury, anything like that, we start tailing down, right? Spiral effects. And the excuses start happening. I don't like that DeAndre Hopkins is this offense, but truth of the matter is we know what it looks like, right? We've seen Kyler Murray without DeAndre Hopkins. We know he needs him. We know what Kliff Kingsbury looks like without Hopkins or Kyler, right? It's not a pretty sight. So solely DeAndre Hopkins is the guy that this offense runs through. It is. It's a truth of the nature. So this game is going to be different for that sole purpose right there. That DeAndre Hopkins will be on the field and hopefully giving their young cornerback over there on the defensive side of the ball a hell of a game. Because that's what we need from DeAndre Hopkins. We need another 100-plus yard game. Because at this very moment, it doesn't really seem like anybody else is really doing very much, right? We got Rondale Moore with some flashes. We got AJ Green just kind of chilling. We got Robbie Anderson. This is going to be his 3rd game as an Arizona Cardinal. We have yet to see him has a big impact. We've had so many injuries pertaining to our starting running back from, James Conner. We had Eno Benjamin, and there's no stability there. But James Conner looks to be coming back. So I'm hoping he's going to kind of get our run game going because I can't see a world where Kyler Murray's our lead rusher again. I don't want to live in that world. Kyler Murray versus Geno Smith, round 2. As of right now, Geno Smith is having a very, very, very good season. As of right now, the 2022 stats, as he sits, is 19. Like his yards is 1,924 yards. That's how much he's got in the 2022 season. 13 touchdowns to 3 interceptions. His QBR rating is 66.6. Kyler Murray, on the other hand, at least at this point in the 2022 season, he has 1,993 yards, 10 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. His QBR rating is 48.3%. Geno Smith is 4th in QBR in the league, and Kyler Murray is 19th in QBR in the league. So, obviously, when you're looking at the numbers, right, the yardages look very similar. Kyler Murray has 3 less touchdowns, but also Geno Smith has 3 less interceptions than Geno Smith. So we need Kyler Murray in this game to play out of his mind. We do. We absolutely do. I think it's very important for Kyler Murray to come out here and play like his $230 million contract entails. Because at one point, this offense was bleeding and solely riding on the legs of Kyler Murray. And once he ran the ball at least 10 times, we got to win, right? That was the big stat that was out there. When Kyler Murray gets involved with his legs, we most likely get a win, especially if it's 9 to 10 times or 9 to 10 plus times in a game. We need Kyler Murray to do that again. We need DeAndre Hopkins to have, 100 plus yards, and we need James Conner to get this run game going. Yes, we've had a lot of injuries. Yes, we have. Yes, our schedule is probably one of the hardest schedules out there. Yes, it's true. But it's not like we didn't know this coming in. This is something that needs to happen. I mean, not everybody's going to get a cupcake schedule, right? You want to be a Super Bowl winning team, you got to beat the good teams. You got to beat the Patrick Mahomes. You got to beat the Eagles. You got to get through them. Why not play them in a regular season game and not in a playoff game like what happened in the Rams, right? We got a culture shock when we got absolutely destroyed in that playoff game. We need to have Kyler Murray have one of his best games out there. We do. I want to see Kyler Murray at least 275 yards throwing the ball. Yards. At least 275. Touchdowns, I'll take 2. I'll take a rushing. I'll take 2 passing, 1 rushing. But I also need Kyler Murray to run as well. At least 9+ times. D-Hop is going to get his. If James Conner does come back, he's going to get his. Hopefully, fingers crossed. And another wide receiver needs to emerge. Either it's AJ, either it's Robbie, or either it's Rondale Moore. Somebody else needs to emerge as that wide receiver number 2 or that slot wide receiver. Who I don't care if it's 2 or 3 or the slot. I don't give a 2. As long as they're producing, that's all I care about. This game right here is important for the Arizona Cardinals. And I know you guys have been hearing this all week. This is back-to-back-to-back division games. Back-to-back-to-back division games. We got the Seattle Seahawks. We got the Rams that we can never seem to beat. And then we got the 49ers, which we, at this very moment, still don't know 100% what the 49ers are, right? They look good, but how are they going to stack up against the Arizona Cardinals? We swept them last year, but, I mean, it's a different year, different team. This needs to be an absolute must-win. And I get it. People in the chat are like, Mike, this is always a must-win. Yes, it is always a must-win. Because the Arizona Cardinals put ourselves in this situation. The Arizona Cardinals couldn't win the important games. The Vikings. There was so much frustration. And Kliff Kingsbury said it himself. There was so much frustration coming out of that Vikings game because the way that, it ended, right? The Arizona Cardinals didn't win. But it's self-inflicted stuff that's happening over and over again. What more can you say, right? Fix them. Fix the issues. It's self-inflicted, and then fix them. Because we're seeing and hearing the same things over and over again, and nothing's getting fixed. So Geno Smith, last time we played him, he didn't have his best game. No, he didn't have his best game at all. Geno Smith actually, and I don't think he struggled. I wouldn't say struggled against the Arizona Cardinals, but I mean, he didn't have his best game, right? But I do believe that we can. Let me see if I can find his stats for. I'm trying to see if I can find for that specific game. I don't think he had a very good stat line versus the Arizona Cardinals. Let me see if I can find that out right now. 1 second, y'all. I know we lost like 9-19 or something dumb like that. Like we couldn't get a touchdown to save our life. It was really frustrating to see. So this one's bringing up this one. Okay, let's see here. Yeah, there it is. Okay, perfect. Let's take a look at Geno Smith's stat line the last time we played him. Geno Smith was 20 out of 31, no touchdowns, no interceptions, 197 yards. I guess the big thing is that he did rush the ball 6 times as well with 48 yards as well. So yes, he didn't get any touchdowns, but their young running back did, Kenneth Walker. And that's a guy we got to look out for as well. Kenneth Walker is definitely a guy that we need to look out for as well. He's a young up and coming star for that, that Seattle Seahawks. I got a friend that represents the Seattle Seahawks in our NFC West network, and he says that he reminds him of Beast Mode. I wouldn't go that far, but he's a guy that runs the ball very, very hard and was very, very sought after in the draft. So Geno Smith didn't have a great game. Now, Kyler Murray, on the other hand, the last time we played him, he was 23 out of 37, 222 yards and 1 interception. He did get busy on the ground as well. He got 10 carries and 100 yards. That's what we need to see again. But as you can tell again, in that game, Kyler Murray outrushed all our running backs. Benjamin got 37 yards. Keontae Ingram got 7 yards. We need to be able to run the ball. We can't be one-dimensional. We can't. It's just like any other offense. We're not special. We're not any different. We got to get every senses of the imagination going, right? Complementary football. Offense needs to do it for the defense. Defense needs to do it for the offense, and so on. Special teams just need to do it for themselves and us. Or so not us, but like the defense and the offense as well. So Kyler needs to play out of his mind. He absolutely does. He absolutely does. Now, let's talk about this. And I know this is a very touchy subject here for a lot of fans. I don't know why. I don't know why it's a very touchy subject for a lot of fans. But this is something that we need to talk about. Kliff Kingsbury, right? Is his days numbered with the Arizona Cardinals? Now, we got 3 division games back to back to back, right? This game right here, out of all 3, seems the most winnable. Now, I get it. The Seattle Seahawks are better than we thought. The Seattle Seahawks always has our number in State Farm Stadium, right? Everything's going against us, right? And we're playing at home. We suck at home. So everything is going against the Arizona Cardinals to win this game. But out of those 3 matchups, right? Seahawks, the Rams, 49ers. I think this is the most winnable game. And do you know how much confidence we can be bringing into these other 2 games if we win this game, right? Knock the guy that's in the top of the division off their high horse. Do you know how great that would feel as an Arizona Cardinal fan? Now, granted, yes, there's going to be implications if that does happen. If the Arizona Cardinals ends up beating the Seattle Seahawks, what happens is that the 49ers ends up going to the number 1 spot. It's okay. We'll see the 49ers in 2 weeks after this game, right? Everybody's going to take their turn here. You know how darn good this will feel for me as an Arizona Cardinal fan to knock them off their dang high horse? Because right now we have Seahawks fans out there, they're talking Super Bowl. With Geno Smith, they're talking Super Bowl right now. And I need the Cardinals to bring them back to reality. That's what I need from the Cardinals. We can still stay within this division. We just got to get our stuff together. And here's the thing. It's the same stuff over and over and over again. We can't score in the first quarter. We can't score a touchdown in the first quarter. Guys, how many points have we scored this year in the first quarter? Do you guys know how much points we scored in the first quarter? And we're going into week 9? Go ahead. Take a wild guess. Take a wild guess. The Arizona Cardinals have scored 9 points. 9. That's right. 9 points this year in the first quarter, and we're going into week 9. 0 touchdowns. 0. We have scored 9 points, 0 touchdowns. Going into this game, into the 9th week. There's something wrong with this Arizona Cardinal team. There's something broken with this Arizona Cardinal team. And everybody that kind of does podcasts, we're all kind of talking about the same thing, right? Because it's obvious. We've been outscored, or there's the teams have scored more points on the Arizona Cardinals in the first quarter than any other team in the NFL. Where's the offensive guru? Where is he? It's bad. And I get it, right? We have fans that want to be positive, right? We have fans that want to be positive, but honestly, I feel like that's hurting it. I feel like that's hurting us more than it's not, right? There's fans that want to be positive, and that's cool. I get it, but we need to have a sense of urgency because if we lose this game and we're dropping down to 3-6, do you know how much scrutiny this Arizona Cardinal organization will get? Do you know how much faith would be lost, not just from the fan base, but from the people in the locker room? 3-6 is not a good team at all. 3-6 is a bad record if we lose this game. Let me get to the super chat here from Jason. What's up, Jason? He says, is Kliff on permanent IR? He needs to be. I agree, brother. I 100% agree. Now, let me say this here real quick, ladies and gentlemen. Real quick. If you do want to get your comment pinned, right now there's 80 people in here right now. Best way to do it is like my guy Jason did, super chat. That's the best way to do it, ladies and gentlemen. Now, and I also, one other thing, since I got 80 people in here right now, if you guys are interested, I will possibly be having a seat available right by me in the Seattle Seahawks game. I think what we might do is do like the $5 buy-in, put names in hat, pull the name out if you're interested in getting a ticket. Now, granted, it will be one, and obviously you need to be over 18 years of age. We're thinking about doing that, at least as of right now, because I think I might have another seat available right next to me, just FYI. So here's the biggest thing right here, right? Here's the biggest thing. The Arizona Cardinals. Kliff Kingsbury. This is the 4th year of Kliff Kingsbury right now. 4th. It's not the 2nd, not the 1st, the 3rd, the 4th. The 4th year of Kliff Kingsbury. And we're still struggling. We're still having the same issues over and over and over and over again. Kliff Kingsbury's comes out, right? Press conferences, post-game show. I got to look at the film. Got to figure it out. What haven't you learned? What haven't you learned so far? Kliff Kingsbury's record overall in the 4 years is under 500. FYI. Kliff Kingsbury's record as an Arizona Cardinal head coach is under 500. Let me see what I can find, like his exact record. Right now, at least from pro football history, he's 27, 29, and 1 right now. And that's since 2019. 27, 29, and 1. That's what Kliff Kingsbury is as an Arizona Cardinal head coach. Let me ask you guys this. Do you think Kyler Murray, I'm sorry, my bad, rephrase it. Do you think Kliff Kingsbury will win the Arizona Cardinals the Super Bowl? That's it. Just a yes or no answer. I don't need a yes because A, B, and C, D, E, F, G. I don't need that. I don't need a no because A, B, C, D, and J. No. Just yes or no. Do you believe Kliff Kingsbury can bring a Super Bowl to the Arizona Cardinals? Do you believe Kliff Kingsbury can bring a Super Bowl to the Arizona Cardinals? Maybe not this year. Maybe not this year. Right? We know that. Maybe not this year. For future years. Now, while I get everybody saying their yes and no's in the comments here below, I did see some people saying they're really excited about Hard Knocks. I am absolutely excited about the Hard Knocks as well. I want to see what the heck is going on within this locker room. Let me get to Jason here. Jason says, this organization is a wreck. Hard Knocks, baby. Absolutely. What's up, William? Thank you so much for being here. $5 donation. I don't see any comments, but I appreciate the super chat. Thanks a lot. We're having a lot of people saying definitely no. Jose, I see you. You say yes. I see Leonardo says yes. Ian says no shot. Timothy says, hell no. Alex says no. Nathan says yes. Jose says, I do. Alejandro says, not with Kyler playing QB. Okay, that's a different take. We have some nopes. We got some yeses. So we got some positivity in the comments here below. But we also see people saying, no way in hell. We're also seeing people saying, no way in hell. If Kliff Kingsbury loses two out of these three division games, it's a wrap. I don't think we're thinking positive anymore, ladies and gentlemen. I think it's a wrap. I think let's think about where we're going to be landing in the draft. If we lose two out of the three division games back to back to back, it's a wrap. Y'all, it's a wrap. No more positivity there. It's a wrap. It's Tank Bowl season, Edward. Yes, Tank Bowl season. If we lose two out of the three, we need to win two out of the three division games coming up, because right now, we're 0-2 in the division. 0-2. Not a good look. Will with another super chat. Appreciate you. He says, do you think that Kyler would thrive under a new coach? Kliff is who he was in college. Nance. Yes, I do. I honestly do think. And I think that's one thing that I want to see, because, yeah, Kyler Murray is pissing me off, right? I don't think Kyler Murray is perfect. I don't think he's the next best thing like I used to think. He has his flaws. But I want to see what Kyler Murray looks like with a new head coach. Maybe Sean Payton won't be attainable. Maybe not, right? But, you know, you're Eric Bieniemy, right? The offensive coordinator from the Chiefs. We saw what Brian Dable has done to Daniel Jones in the New York Giants. New York Giants right now are sitting at 6-2 right now with the new head coach. And that head coach came from an offensive coordinator from the Bills. I think we just need a new leadership. I think we just need a new voice in the locker room is what I think. Now, can I be wrong? Yeah, I can be wrong. But at least at that moment, we can figure out, okay, Kyler, you're not the dude. You're not the guy, right? You fooled us. Because right now, everybody's fingers are pointing at Kliff, because it's the appropriate thing to do. You blame one person that's going on when the offense isn't working, you blame Kliff. If we get a new head coach and we're still struggling and we're still seeing Kyler Murray do all these things, there it is. There's our answer. Kyler can't do it. But I still want to see him with another head coach for that very reason specifically. That's just my opinion, though. I know there's some people that want to get rid of Kyler as well, but I would tell you, it's not going to happen. Getting rid of Kyler right now is not going to happen, because his number or his contract is hitting the cap. Head coaches and GMs, their number doesn't hit the cap. So it's a little different there. Let me get to Tyler's super chat. He says, better question is, what evidence do you, that we, yes, 100%, Tyler, 100%. What I've heard from people that do have this confidence is that they're just going for a hope. They're going for a Hail Mary. I mean, that's legit what it is. Most fans that are like, yes, I believe that Kliff is going to give us this. Couple things. A, they might be very new to the Arizona Cardinals. They might be very, very new to the Arizona Cardinals. And see, they're just going off of hope. That's what I think it is. But the Arizona Cardinals are being put in a situation here where our backs are against the wall. We have to win two out of these three. Now, granted, if we go 3-0, then let's go. 3-0 against the division, we're back at it again. Right? We're sitting at 3-5 right now. We get 3 wins. We're 6-5, one game above 500. But can we get to that level, right? Can we get to that spot that we all know that we can? We got the talent. We got the pieces. It's just, can our head coach put us in the best position to succeed? And I know I've been not attacked, but I've been very, people have been saying I've been very soft on the defense. And I agree. Our defense isn't top notch, but I feel like with the pieces that we have, we didn't really upgrade in free agency at all. So with what Vance Joseph is doing, with what he was given, I mean, what can you say, right? Blame Kliff again. I'm not Kliff, blame Keim. Keim didn't bring anybody in free agency. Literally, on roster, we lost pieces. We didn't put him back. We got some young people, in the draft, but we know how the Cardinals are. We don't let those young people or young players succeed. We don't. Trey McBride, do y'all remember what you guys were talking about? Trey McBride, oh my God, he's the next best thing since sliced bread. And I'm like, did we really need a tight end though? At that very moment, my mind was thinking we got Ertz and then we got Max Williams at that very moment. Now, granted, yes, Max Williams was cut, put back in the practice squad, whatever, blah, 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 blah. But Trey McBride has done nothing for this Arizona Cardinal team. And I mean nothing for this Arizona Cardinal team. Zilch. Squat. And he's a second-round pick for the Arizona Cardinals. And it's funny because we have so much fans to just buy into the crap fest and what Steve Keim says. He spews just absolute crap every single year. He says things like, oh my God, I can't believe he was still available. And then we got fans, oh my God, bro, no, let's see what they do in year one first before we start pumping up some gas up people's bums. You know what I mean? I'm over it. I'm over it. If the season goes south, there's absolutely no reason, no way in heck that those two should stay in office. They shouldn't. I would be surprised if they did. Let me get to Joseph says, if we lose this game, the season is done with. That's fair. Yeah, I mean, I don't blame you. I'm not one of those fans that are going to try to convince you to spend money on this organization, right? Just to spend money on the merch. I've been on social media saying things like, "Oh my God, right? This State Farm Stadium has been overtaken. We got overtaken by the Chiefs. We got overtaken by the Eagles. Those are the two games that ended up going to that we got overtaken. The Saints, there wasn't very much Saints people, but they're not having a good year, so I don't expect them to come out of the woodwork." But yeah, we got overtaken. Oh, State Farm Stadium was green when the Eagles were here. The Chiefs, when they were here after the national anthem, you bet as heck that they were yelling Chiefs. It was annoying. But that's what we want to get to. We want to get to the Chiefs level. The mediocrity needs to stop eventually. Let me get to Sijins here real quick. Sijin did not give a comment, but he did go ahead and donate. I appreciate the super chat. Thank you so very much for the contribution, Sijin. Means the world. Thank you. Let's go back to Jason. He says, Mike, you be the GM or the coach. Better than those clowns. I would rather be the GM than the coach. I'm not going to lie to you. My football knowledge is Madden, and that's all I know. But shoot, I do believe that I can build a better roster than Steve Keim can. Now, granted, I think every fan thinks that way, right? Armchair, GMs. That's cool. That's fine. I do truly believe that the people that I've wanted going into the draft are doing better than the people that he's picked. It's what it is, right? It is what it is. Appreciate the super chat though, but I'm not always right too, right? I mean, I've got a lot of things wrong as well. So, but that's the thing. 10 years of Steve Keim, 4 years of Kliff Kingsbury. Like something's got to give. Something's got to give. And it's funny to me that a lot of times when I post on Twitter, I'm like, fire Keim. And somebody always comes up and says, oh, fire Kliff first. I'm like, bro, do you know who hired Kliff? Keim hired Kliff. Keim hired Kliff. If Keim goes, Kliff goes. Experiment is done. The only person that we're keeping is K1 to see if he can mesh with a new head coach if they bring one in. Oh, they have to bring one in. So when they bring him in, it's just the truth of the nature. I mean, it's absolutely insane to me. It's absurd. Kliff Kingsbury should feel the fire under him. Kliff Kingsbury should feel like he's in the hot seat. Steve Keim should also feel like he's in the hot seat. Now, if you believe it's Keim over, Kliff or Kliff over Keim, whatever. As long as both of them go, I can care less who goes first. Because put yourself in the job, right? Put yourself in the job. If you weren't getting the job done, which the job is for you to go to the Super Bowl or at least maintain yourself in a level of mediocrity, at least great, the Cardinals are so far below that I don't even know why they even have a job. We're constantly rebuilding. Every 3 to 4 years, we're rebuilding. And what we have here as Arizona Cardinal fans, right? That the media that we have here as the Arizona Cardinals, we have things like people saying, oh, well, I knew we were going to be an 8-win team. I knew we were going to be a 9-win team. I knew we were going to be a 7-win team, blah, 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 blah. But that's the problem. That is the problem. Expectations are low. We need to demand better from this organization. It's not like we just got a new head coach. No, this stuff should have been solved by now. Why we can't get an offense that's so dependent on one person is beyond me. I don't understand why our offense can't gel if one person isn't on the field. That's DeAndre Hopkins. I don't understand it. It's wild. Now, I'm not sitting here and saying every draft pick needs to be a superstar, right? I'm not saying that. Every draft pick doesn't have to be a superstar, but we haven't gotten a superstar in the draft. That's the problem. Isaiah Simmons, not a superstar. Zayvon Collins, although he's doing very well, not a superstar. Kyler Murray, because he got paid, is probably in the level. But if you ask anybody outside this Cardinal organization how you feel about Kyler Murray, they will say he's overrated, overhyped, he's not a good quarterback. I promise you. I promise you. Anybody that's not in this Cardinal organization, all this Cardinal fan base, ask anybody about Kyler Murray. The same narrative is out there. You overpaid, he's overhyped, he's not a good quarterback. Why can't we have nice things? Why? I don't get it. I don't understand. I don't understand. But let me get to Jason. He says Suns are way better ran. Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, thankfully we have the Phoenix Suns, right? Thankfully. The way that our Diamondbacks ended the season, it was promising, right? We got a lot of young players coming through. So, hey, it's promising for the D-backs. But for me, for the Arizona Cardinals, I feel like it's a little bit more emotional for me. You got 17 games in a season. And there's so much weight that goes into every single week. Every single week. There's so much emotion, so much buildup. I just don't get it. I don't understand. Why can't we be the Chiefs? 2 to 3 years, please. That's all I ask. We won 11 games. We won 11 games last year. Why are we regressing? Why? I'll tell you why. Because Kliff Kingsbury has been found out. That's why. And he's refusing to adjust. And he's doing the same thing over and over and over and over again. That's why. Kliff Kingsbury has been found out. And there needs to be something to be said about the culture we have in this locker room. There needs to be something that needs to be said about the culture in this locker room. Cardinals don't have the culture. They don't. Got the culture? We had plenty of people talk about the Cardinals organization. It's wild. It's wild. And I know people are like, well, why are you getting so frustrated? Why are you getting so bent out of shape? The reason why is because I care too darn much. And I know it's a bad thing, right? Just stop caring. It's not in my blood. I like football so darn much that I want this team to succeed. And it kills me every single time in the draft. It kills me every single time in the draft that I hear my fan base saying things like, oh my God, potential, upside. Oh my God. Did you see here Steve Keim said, I can't believe he was still available? It kills me every single year. It's the same stuff. Every single year. I like the Isaiah Simmons pick. I love the Isaiah Simmons pick. The big problem with Isaiah Simmons is that the Arizona Cardinals don't know how to use him. And now barely we're starting to see flashes of Isaiah Simmons because they're putting him on the field. It's got to be better, man. We got to develop. We got to let these young people or young players develop. We got to let them make mistakes. Sitting them on the bench is not getting them any reps. Sitting them on the bench is doing nothing for their careers. Nothing. Let me get to the super chat. Flash Game. Bro, I haven't seen Flash Gamer here in a hot second. What's up, brother? Appreciate you for being here. He says, I ain't going to lie. We need an offensive head coach that can run Kliff's offense because Kliff has a good scheme, but play calling is bad. That's fair. That's fair. I mean, that's fair. I mean, I got nothing to say about that. I mean, the only thing I can kind of really just say about Kliff Kingsbury, I know a lot of people like to say, bad play calling, but it's not just the play calling, y'all. It's a lot. It's time management. It's using 2 timeouts or 2 out of your 3 timeouts when you have 3 minutes left in the first quarter. That's what it is. It's that. It's the deer in the headlights. It's the no response. It's the no adjustments to get better. That's what's wrong with Kliff, right? He could probably have one of the best offenses out there. You might be right. But it's everything else that are pissing all the fan base off. The time management, deer in the headlights, no adjustments. Same thing over and over again. That's the big problem with Kliff. I don't want to wish any ill against Kliff Kingsbury or anybody's job. I don't. But I promise you, if we don't win 2 out of these 3 games, these division games back to back to back, it's as good as gone. It's as good as done. You're already 7 games lost. Why do we think that it's going to somehow magically, right? The Arizona Cardinals are some phoenix that's going to bread through the fire and the ashes and rise to be something different. No, we are who our team is. It's what our record is. That's who our team is. Now, let me ask you guys this real quick. On my NFC West Network, if you guys don't follow the NFC West Network, I highly recommend you follow it. We're putting out shows every Tuesday, 6 p.m. We go live. We talk to a 49er fan, a Seahawk fan, and a Rams fan, and also me as a Cardinal fan. It's in the description of this video if you're interested. Somebody asked me, and it was a Rams fan. He said, Mike, if you truly believe that Kliff Kingsbury will not get you a Super Bowl, why do you want to win this game so bad? And this is going in this game, right? Against the Seattle Seahawks. And I told him, at least at this very moment, the division is open still. Whether you want to believe it or not, per the numbers, the division is still wide open. It is. 9 games left, down 2. People are going to win, people are going to lose, right? It's still open. But he told me, why do you want to have a winning record when you don't believe Kliff is the guy? He said, wouldn't you rather this Arizona Cardinal team lose out and be a terrible team to ensure him getting fired, as opposed to just riding the line of mediocrity? That's my question to you guys. Would you rather this Arizona Cardinal team lose out, and not lose out because we're intentionally losing out, right? Like, because we're giving up games. I'm not saying we're giving up games. I'm just saying we lose out because we suck, right? Or do you want this Arizona Cardinal team to actually win, to be mediocre, right? 8 games, but miss the playoffs. 9 games, but miss the playoffs. What would make you more pissed? Or is it both? Or is it both? Let me get to this super chat here from Edward. He says, this team is so talented that any coach would like to coach this team and be a GM of this team. Hashtag fire Kliff, fire Keim. You're right. It's true. 100% right. We got so much talent. It's insane. We got my guy over in here. We got my guy says, get a top 10 draft pick, get another linebacker. Oh my goodness. Get brother, I swear to God, if we get another down linebacker, oh my goodness. I'm gonna throw up in my mouth. That would be disgusting. Get another top 10 pick. That's why I want Keim gone too. Like, that's the reason why I want Keim gone. Because if you just get rid of Kliff and Keim is still there, you better bet your bottom dollar that he's going to do something stupid like that. He's going to go for a Trey McBride. And here's the thing. I'm not trying to wish any bad things on Trey McBride. He's probably a wonderful person. He's probably a great player. The issue is that the Arizona Cardinals do not have any room for him to succeed. Zach Ertz is our number one tight end. Where's Trey McBride? Where is he? Zaven Collins had to wait his turn. There was a whole year before he even got reps. Isaiah Simmons only now is starting to flash how we wanted him to flash. 2 years. And we're not seeing them consistently. Is that who you really want to make your decisions for, you guys? Steve Keim saying things like, oh, he was on top of our draft board, but the draft board sucks. You are a terrible evaluator, my friend. You're a terrible evaluator. Why do we want Steve Keim there and fire Keim or fire Kliff? Fire both of them. Get them out. Michael Bidwell, there was something on Twitter saying that Michael Bidwell is selling his Paradise Valley house, ladies and gentlemen. He's selling his mansion. In case you guys want, I believe it's something along the lines of $6 to $7 million. If you guys are interested, Michael Bidwell is selling his house. He's probably trying to pay these stupid contracts that Steve Keim ended up putting out. Steve Keim got a 5-year extension. Kliff Kingsbury got a 5-year extension. Michael Bidwell, if this season goes south, you better eat those contracts. Eat it. Fire them and eat it. Fire them and eat those contracts because it was your decision to promote and extend these two players. Not promote, to extend these two people in this position because we had 11 wins. Did you not see how we ended the season? It was brutal. We got demolished. Let me get to this Tyler super chat. He says, want him to win even though I want Kliff plus Keim gone. Okay, that's fair. Appreciate the super chat. Thanks a lot. Yeah, I mean, I want them to win too. I mean, and that's the sucky part, right? I want them to win. 100%. But it's crazy to me to think that there's no other coach that can put us in a better position. I don't think we're here because of Kliff. I don't think Kliff is this big, offensive guru that's going to take us into the Super Bowl. I truly don't believe we're going to get a Super Bowl with Kliff. I don't believe we're going to get one with Kliff Kingsbury. I don't. Rip it off like a Band-Aid. Why they were extended? Michael Bidwell needs to eat those contracts. Eat them. Pay them. Buy them out. Eat them. We've seen coaches get fired even though they gotten extensions. Maybe not the year before, but we've seen them. John Gruden got bought out. Who's the latest one that just got fired? Matt Rule, he got bought out. He had like 3 years left in his contract. Bought out. Michael Bidwell needs to eat it. Eat it. Because you put us here. You put us in this position. We got 11 wins. Oh my God, guys. Oh, here we go. No. The conversation should be, why in the living heck did we get destroyed versus the Rams? That's what the conversation should have been. Not, oh, let me give you an extension. No. What? What? No. That's not how this should work. Jason up in here with another super chat. My goodness, man. Appreciate you, Jason. He says, can't we just lose and fire the two clowns? Well, that's the thing. That's a good question. It's a very good question. I truly believe that if the Arizona Cardinals win 8 plus games, right? 8, 9, 10 games, whatever, they won't fire him. The only way that the Arizona Cardinals will fire Kliff Kingsbury is if the Arizona Cardinals lose 6 or less games. Win 6 or less games. I apologize. I said lose. Win 6 or less games. That's the only way I see the Arizona Cardinals making a or hasty decision. The only way. The only way. The only way. And I think that's kind of one thing that scares me too. Because nobody's talking about Kliff Kingsbury not giving up his play calls anymore. He had one good game against the Saints, a team that we should have beaten. A team that we should have beaten. Right after that game, people forgot. Nobody's asking anymore, are you giving up play calls anymore? Because he had one good game. And that's the thing that I feared the most. You have one good game, people stop talking. People forget. It's a problem, y'all. It's a problem. It's absolutely bonkers to figure out why we're here right now. It's bonkers. Chaz, what? Man, Chaz, I haven't seen Chaz in a hot second. It's been a while. Changed your profile picture. Yes, I remember you. And it's been a while. Appreciate the super chat. He says, I saw this upsetting season coming, bro. We extended Keim and Kliff after 2 straight late season collapses. Not surprised. You reaped, yeah, 100%. And it's so funny to me, right? Because it's not that it's funny to me, and I don't want to be in this position. I don't want the downfall of the Arizona Cardinals, regardless of what people think, right? I know there's a lot of Twitter people out there that are like, oh my God, just leave the Cardinal fan base alone. Blah, 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 blah. Whatever. I want this team to succeed, no matter how I do it. But you're right. 3 straight years of it. Nobody seems to remember what happened in year 2, right? When we ended up 8-8. Nobody wants to remember that we had an opportunity to get to the playoffs in year 2. Nobody wants to remember that we got beat back to back with backup quarterbacks. CJ Beathard with the 49ers and John Wolford with the Rams. Nobody wants to remember it. Because Kliff Kingsbury has failed us not just one year, ladies and gentlemen. It's been every single year that he's been a head coach. How is he going to have a record as 27, 29, and 1 and get an extension? What? Insane. It's insane. They shouldn't have gotten extended. Now we're here. Michael Bidwell better eat those contracts. Better eat them. Let me get to No Name. Appreciate the contribution. He says, no one has seen Kliff or Keim's contracts. There could be a conditional clause. I hope so. I saw somewhere in Twitter, and keep in mind, right, Twitter is not very, what's the word? Twitter is not very, I mean, unless you see the per source and it's Ian Rappaport, you're right? I've talked about this where I'm like, if Michael Bidwell was smart, there would be an addendum with those 2 clowns. There would be an addendum where Kliff Kingsbury needs to win at least this amount of games for this contract to be valid. If we want to put addendums on Kyler Murray, right, and blast it out into the NFL to make Kyler Murray look like an absolute terrible person, because that's where all the jokes are coming from. Kyler Murray didn't do his homework. Call of Duty just came out. Whatever. Shut up with those jokes. I'm tired of them. But the problem is the Arizona Cardinals put Kyler Murray in this situation. They put an alcohol. They put a homework addendum in there, right? Homework addendum for Kyler Murray. You need to study for 4 hours. Did you put an addendum for Kliff Kingsbury and Keim? Keim for stop whiffing on the first round picks and Kliff for stop having a season late collapse? Did you do that, Michael Bidwell? Or are we just being choosy with our players? I mean, I agree with that. I agree with that contribution right there. I 100% agree with that. If he was smart, he should be putting an addendum in those 2 clowns' contracts, extensions. Facts. The days of let's just get by should be over, everybody. It should. And I'm going to continue to do what I do and continue to talk about this Arizona Cardinal team. Although I've lost a lot of, people that were true to the Arizona Cardinal or this Arizona sports fan base on YouTube. Well, we had a lot of good people here. We had a lot of people that from the beginning that they were really, really cool and they loved to kind of stick around, but they got tired of me telling the truth. They got tired of me saying the same things over and over again. Are we not a 3-5 team? Did we not have a late season collapse last year? Did we not have an opportunity to get to the playoffs and lost 8-8 to 2 backup quarterbacks and still didn't get the opportunity where the Bears took our spot in the playoffs? Just telling the truth. We need to win 2 out of the 3 games. 2 out of the 3 games in these division games. Nothing else should be accepted. 2 out of the 3 games. And then we can start talking about playoffs. Because as of right now, if anybody even mentions the fact of playoffs, I'll just respond to this.
Playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs.
Because it's the truth. We ain't here. We ain't here to be mediocre. We want a Super Bowl ring. The last championship we had in Arizona was the Diamondbacks. And they just reminded us when Gonzo hit that single and got that home run, that got that run in. They just reminded us and the Diamondbacks did. Last time we got a ring from the obviously these big teams, right? I know the Mercury wins all the time. I know the Rattlers win all the time. I'm talking about the 4 major sports we have here, right? Football, baseball, hockey, basketball. That's what I'm talking about. Something's got to give, ladies and gentlemen. Something's got to give. 2 out of the 3 games, have to win it. Have to. There's just no way around it. 2 out of the 3 games, we have to win. Now let's talk about this real quick. Let's get to the X factors. Let's talk Cardinals versus Seahawks before we end this stream, ladies and gentlemen. Who are your X factors? I think they're obvious, right? Obvious X factors. D-Hop, please have a huge game. James Conner, if he comes back, please get our run game going. Kyler Murray, can you please play like a $230 million quarterback? Franchise. That's what we need from you. What is it? Is what it is. That's on the offensive side of the ball. The defensive side of the ball, I would love Zaven Collins to get a little bit more. Obviously, just keep stopping the run. Budda Baker, if he does play, be that playmaker for us. And can we get some young edge rushers that actually are consistent? Can we just throw them in there? All right? We need it. We absolutely need it. I understand our offensive line is in shambles right now. I understand. Rodney Hudson should have not come back, ladies and gentlemen. Rodney Hudson should have not come back. He's only put a Band-Aid on this offensive line coming into the season. Only a Band-Aid because he seems to be hurt and retired already. It's over. Rodney Hudson, I could almost promise you after the season he's done. He's just collecting that check. He's pulling a Terrell Suggs. That's all he's doing. A waste. Now, I don't blame Keim for that one. I'm on Keim's side for trying to get him. I'll give kudos to where kudos is due. I remember saying, you get Rodney Hudson right now. And they did it. They traded for him. So I agree with Keim there. That's just a person. That's a personal issue with Rodney Hudson, right? Either he doesn't want to be here, maybe he doesn't think that we're going anywhere. Regardless, it sucks to not have our center, our star center. It sucks. Jason says, I got a barf. Keim and Kliff are on my mind, bro. Well, yeah. Yeah, I mean, you ain't wrong there. You ain't wrong there, my guy. Ain't wrong there. Joe says Rodney has an issue. That's why he's considered retired. Yeah, well, I mean, you might be right, right? You might be 100% right. Maybe it isn't it. Maybe it is a real injury. And I get it, right? What he does, and he's getting older, it affects your body. I have never, ever tried to stop a 300-pound man to try to come at me. I have never tried to do that. And I never would want to do that. So kudos to whatever the heck he's done for his career. But he's only hurt this Arizona Cardinal team coming back. He has. Since he's been with us, he hasn't been that Iron Man. Since he's been with us, he hasn't been the guy that we thought he was going to be coming from the Raiders. If he retired, we probably could have got a center instead of getting Trey McBride. So, I mean, we'll see. Kyler Murray is absolutely, I think, one of the biggest X factors, though. One of the biggest. Obviously, D-Hop is, right? Our offense only runs to DeAndre Hopkins. It sucks for me to admit. It sucks for me to say. But Kyler Murray needs to put the team on his back because people are already talking, y'all. People are already talking. People are pissed. The fan base wants Kyler gone. I did a poll 3 days ago and I got 1.3K votes. I appreciate you guys. I asked you guys, how many games do you think this Arizona Cardinal team is going to win in the 2022 season? We have 53% says 5 to 7 games we're going to win. 5 to 7 games. That sucks. It's terrible. Garbage. Got to win this game, y'all. Got to win it. All right, let's do this. So I got 2 tickets for all the people that are in here right now, 126 of you right now. I got 2 tickets to Arizona Cardinals versus Seahawks. I got a parking pass, obviously. Is anybody interested in either A, coming with me to the game because I still kind of want to go? Anybody want to? The only fair way that I can see this happening and making sure that you're at least 18 years or older is that we can do like a poll. Like we can do a poll. Like maybe do like $4.99 each, like $4.99, like super chats, so I can put your name in a hat so we can pull the person. Now, keep in mind, this is under the understanding that you're getting 1 ticket because I'm taking the other ticket. And then you might have to find your way to get there as well. Anybody interested in buying a ticket or at least doing like a $4.99 poll, put the names in the hat. I'll draw it. Hit me up on my socials and I'll send the ticket over to you. But I'm thinking about maybe like a $4.99 buy-in so we know that the people that are interested are going to be over the age of 18. I'm not trying to bring anybody younger than 18. Not trying to be on the news, ladies and gentlemen. Imagine the headlines. YouTuber with mustache trying to bring my kid over to a Cardinal game. No, I'm not about that. Not about that. So can we at least get, 5 to 6 people okay with that? Can we get the fire emojis? Fire emojis only if you're interested in getting a ticket and sitting next to me. That's it. That's all I want. And that you're willing to do a $4.99 buy-in. I'll buy you drinks. I'll be a cheap date. I don't drink very much. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'll probably just be. I don't drink very much. No worries, Dakota. You're good. Yes, the Suns are about to start here, so I want to make this as quick as possible because I want to go watch that Suns game. Okay, so we got 2 people with fire emojis. Okay, cool. So we got 8. Okay, perfect. Now, Juan and Joey and A2B2 Lax, you guys are okay with giving a $4.99 donation. I'm putting your name in the hat, picking that name, and whoever wins, hit me up on the DMs, right? Cool, because I need to send you guys the ticket. So all you need to do is get your find your own way there. because I got the parking pass. Cool with that? He says, I give this buy-in to the best joke in the chat. Appreciate you. Thank you so much for the super contribution. We got Jason saying AZ sports fan in the Cardinal cool channels. Appreciate you, Jason. Thanks so much, man, for being here. Appreciate it. I mean, I'm cool with just doing A2B2 Lax, Joey, and Juan. I mean, hey, it's not 5, but hey, I'll do it. As long as you guys do $4.99 buy-in, let me rip up some papers, put your name in a hat, hit me up on the DMs, and I'll send you 1 ticket. Cool with that? Because I still want to go to this game. At least as of right now, I still want to go to this game. Okay, no worries. No, you're good. You're good, man. No worries. Cool. Okay, Rusty. Okay, some of these comments are wild. Okay, no worries. I think we're getting less and less people interested, so no worries. Let's do this. Let's not do that. So don't send any super chats. Don't send any super chats. You're good. I will try to maybe a channel member. We'll look into a channel member to see if we can possibly do that. So let's do this. Let's end the stream here. Thank you, everybody. Jason Krell. We got my guy No Name up in there right now. Always super chatting in. Going ahead and giving some love over to the AZ Sports Fan here on YouTube. Thank you so very much for everybody, subscribing. Thank you everybody so much for smacking the like button. I highly, definitely appreciate everybody for coming through. If you are a channel member, look out for a post. Maybe I might give one of them out to you guys. We'll see what happens there. But as of right now, ladies and gentlemen, have a great rest of your day. It's been a pleasure talking to everybody. Have a great rest of your day. And as always, go Cards.